DonInLondon, hello, it's November 28th, 2009. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My addictive substance was alcohol, still would be if I were drinking. My behaviour, workaholic, relationshipaholic, any old dolic, any ism, trying to fill a gap inside me, some sort of empty feeling, and if it wasn't an emptiness, it was probably fear. Then putting on a brave face, and then having ego on top, very thin veneer, and underneath, if it was shattered, you wouldn't find very much. Probably a very confused person for all those years of drinking, and working as hard as I might to make ends meet, make myself feel better, try to look right, try to appear right to other people, and trying to fit in desperately so that either you would leave me alone or I could let you in. And I don't know where it took me. Well, I know where it took me in the end. It took me to 24/7 drinking, in the gutter, looking up, judging people. It's odd, isn't it? A disease, addiction, which tells you you haven't got it, and then when you've got it, and you're no longer in ignorance of your condition, you can't stop. So that was me. Come the millennium of this century, I had no clue what was up, what was down, what was left, what was right. I didn't know how to function, and I guess for many years I functioned as an alcoholic or a heavy drinker dependent on it, and still didn't really understand life. So trying to be convivial, joyful, all the good things that taking the edge off can do, it did that, but it also took the edge off me, my feelings, my spiritual growth, and everything to do with living a normal life. And the gift of a normal life is that it is indeed extraordinary. It's extraordinary to live a normal life without drink, without the need to fill a gap inside. Put that brave face on. So my video is all about recovery, one day at a time, simply one day, and it took me a long while to get there. 35 years of being influenced and pushing down my feelings and taking the edge off. So these days, what do? I don't drink a day at a time. And what helps me do that? Friends, family are so important, but sometimes they had to leave me alone to get on with my addiction because they could do nothing to stop it, same as me. So if I couldn't stop it, they couldn't. But what helps me also is a fellowship, and that fellowship is AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. It's full of unique, authentic people, and I don't speak for them, never can, never will. And I don't speak for the fellowship either, but I share my experience, strength and hope of how it helps me on a daily basis, simply because it provided me with a toolkit that was 12 steps of action to change my attitude and behaviour, and 12 traditions to keep me and people in fellowship safe. And the anonymity bit for me is so important to find our truth, and that's how it works for me. So I don't speak for anybody else, I just speak for me and my recovery. But I share about AA simply because it is the gift which helps me keep sober one day at a time. And if I can keep sober, I can live the rest of my life in harmony and peacefully and with less conflict, internally and externally with others. So I share the statement of intent about AA and then some of the readings that are available, and other readings too. So the statement of intent, or AA preamble, goes like this, and I say it every time because it slows me into the moment of now and gives me focus, and it's part of my daily reflection. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And how does that happen? How to stop drinking? Well, that's the 12 steps of action to change my attitude and behaviour. And primary purpose to stay sober and help other alcoholics is the 12th step, all about sharing a message of experience, strength and hope. And often just by our very presence in a meeting we are helping others keep sober because we're part of a fellowship. we feel included, part of. We've got our choices back in our lives, and we have fellowship. So all of those are good things. And I went to a good meeting last night of what is called the AAA Promises, which is just off the King's Road here in Chelsea, London. And lots of people I knew and know there. And it's good to be in company where we just develop friendships as well as fellowship. And we learn how to live life. And, you know, the promises of AA are not a life beyond your wildest dreams, as I thought. I thought, you know, after step 9, which is having made amends to people, when it's appropriate to do so, that I'll get a life beyond my wildest dreams. And I found that I actually found reality is beyond my wildest dreams, because by the time I stopped drinking, I had no dreams left of anything, just bereft and desolate. So I'm glad to be in fellowship and to be in the company of other people who understand the malady of addiction, that illness which tells you you haven't got it. And then when you accept that you have, life can change dramatically. So changing attitude and behaviour is a daily occurrence. So I find out more about who I am on a daily basis, who I am now, not what I am becoming, but who I am now. And it's incremental, and we can change anything as long as we keep sober. So sharing today's reading from the Daily Reflections, it's part of Step 11 and Tradition 11, and that's about prayer meditation, and also is it attraction or promotion that we have for the fellowship. So for November 28th it says this: attraction, not promotion. Through many painful experiences we think we have arrived at what that policy ought to be. It is the opposite in many ways of usual promotional practice. We found that we had to rely upon the principle of attraction rather than that of promotion. While I was drinking, I reacted with, and that comes from the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 180, page 181. While I was drinking, I reacted with anger, self-pity and defiance against anyone who wanted to change me. All I wanted then was to be accepted by another human being simply as I was, and curiously, that is what I found in AA. That's what I found in AA. I became the custodian of the concept of attraction, which is the principle of our fellowship's public relations. It is by attraction that I can best reach the alcoholic who still suffers. I thank God for having given me the attraction of a well-planned and established program of steps and traditions. Through humility and the support of my fellow sober members, I've been able to practice the AA way of life through attraction, not promotion. And for me, true humility is to tell the truth of who we are and what we do. And part of that is being open, honest and willing, which is what the 12 steps are all about. So when I share experience, strength and hope here about what is it like to live in recovery, I have to say fellowship helped me greatly, but I don't speak for AA. That would never do. So the message for me is very clear. It's just about how to live one day life in recovery, open, honest and willing, knowing I'm powerless over alcohol and life can get unmanageable, and then the steps, so important to change my attitudes. And as Bill sees it, this one, page 271, it says AA in 2 words. All AA progress can be reckoned in terms of just 2 words: humility and responsibility. Our whole spiritual development can be accurately measured by our degree of adherence to these magnificent standards. And don't forget, it's progress, not perfection. Ever deepening humility, accompanied by an ever greater willingness to accept and to act upon clear-cut obligations. These are truly our touchstones for all growth in the life of the Spirit, our spiritual growth, to find the truth of who we are and are today. They hold up to us the very essence of right being and right doing. It is by them that we are enabled to find and to do God's will, or in good conscience. And it's not my understanding of God, it's your understanding of God, or good conscience. And at the end of these videos I always share the serenity prayer: to God, or good conscience, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference is always for me, just for today.